Have you ever been in a heated argument where, midway through, you suddenly felt a strange mental fog roll in? You forgot your main point. Your anger dissolved into confusion, and by the end, you found yourself agreeing with an idea that, just minutes prior, you completely opposed. You didn't just lose an argument. You were subject to a cognitive hack. You were caught in a linguistic rhythm designed to bypass your conscious mind. Most people think hypnosis requires a swinging watch and a trance-like state. But sophisticated manipulators, those high in Machiavellian traits, do not need a stage. They can induce a state of high compliance in the middle of a coffee shop conversation. Welcome to the Shadow Script. Today, we are deconstructing one of the most powerful tools in dark neuro-linguistic programming, conversational hypnosis, built on the technique of pacing and leading. Chapter 1. The Mechanic of Trust. Every human mind has a gatekeeper. Psychologists call it the critical factor. It is the analytical part of your brain that evaluates new information, checks for contradictions, and rejects lies. When you are in a high-stakes argument, your critical factor is on high alert. To bypass this gatekeeper, a manipulator cannot just attack with their demands. They must first lower the gate. They do this through a process called pacing. Pacing is the act of subtly mirroring your current reality back to you to establish a deep, unconscious rapport. It is the linguistic equivalent of saying, "I am just like you. I see the world exactly as you do." In an argument, they won't start by disagreeing. They will start by validating undeniable truths. They might say, "Look, I know you are incredibly frustrated right now. You feel like you're not being heard, and this whole situation is exhausting. We have been going in circles for an hour, and the tension is unbearable. Analyze what is happening here. Every single statement they just made is true. You are frustrated. You don't feel heard. The tension is unbearable." With every true statement, your brain unconsciously says, "Yes, yes, yes." This is called building a yes set. As your brain gets used to agreeing, your critical factor begins to relax. The amygdala lowers its guard. You start to feel felt. You think, finally, they get it. But they don't get it. They are just pacing your reality to gain entry. They are matching your emotional frequency not out of empathy, but out of strategy. Chapter 2. The Pivot. Once they have successfully paced you, once your defenses are lowered and you are in a rhythm of agreement, they execute the turn. This is the pivot point where influence happens. They have matched your pace. Now they are going to lead you in a new direction. Because your critical factor is asleep at the wheel, you are primed to follow. The transition is often seamless, connected by soft conjunctions like and, or which means. They will move from a paced statement directly into a leading statement. It sounds like this. "I know you are furious that I didn't call, and you feel completely disrespected, which is why it is so important that you just trust me this one time and let it go so we can move on." Did you catch the shift? The first half of the sentence, "You are furious and feel disrespected," was pacing. It was undeniable truth. The second half, "Trust me and let it go," was the lead. It was the manipulative command. Because your brain was still nodding yes to the first half, the second half slipped past the gatekeeper without being analyzed. The command was implanted directly into your subconscious processing. You find your anger dissipating, not because the issue is resolved, but because you have been linguistically guided into a state of compliance. Chapter 3. The Invisible Leash. In a sustained campaign of conversational hypnosis, the manipulator constantly adjusts their pacing to keep you on an invisible leash. If they sense your critical factor waking up, if you start to question them, they immediately revert back to pacing. They will say, Whoa, hold on, you're right. I'm moving too fast. You have every right to be skeptical. Let's take a step back. They validate your skepticism. They pace your doubt. And the moment you relax again, they gently pull on the leash and lead you back towards their desired outcome. This dynamic creates a profound sense of cognitive dissonance. You feel understood and manipulated at the exact same time. You walk away from conversations feeling mentally sluggish, like you were wading through thick water. You question your own memory of events because their version of reality felt so smooth, so logical in the moment. Chapter 4. Breaking the Spell. How do you defend against an attack that bypasses your conscious defenses? You must become a master of the pattern interrupt. Hypnosis relies on rhythm, flow, and uninterrupted compliance. To break the spell, you must violently disrupt that rhythm. You must jar your own critical factor back awake. When you feel that mental fog rolling in, do not just keep listening. Physically change your state. Stand up. Walk to the other side of the room. Drop a pen. Do anything that forces a reset of the sensory input. Then, linguistically break the pace. Do not continue with their flow of yes. Throw a hard no into the conversation to shatter the yes set. If they say, I know you're angry and you want this resolved, so let's just do it my way. You interrupt. Stop. I do not agree with that connection. Yes, I am angry, but no, that does not mean we do it your way. Those are two separate things. You must consciously separate the pacing statements from the leading statements. By refusing to be led, you force the manipulator out of the covert realm and back into an overt negotiation, where facts and logic can re-enter the room. Conversational hypnosis is a violation of your cognitive autonomy. It is a hack designed to steal your consent without you ever knowing it was taken. By understanding the mechanics of pacing and leading, you turn the invisible into the visible. And once you can see the strings, you can cut them. This is the shadow script. We explore the dark side of human nature that traditional psychology ignores. If you are ready to reclaim your mind, subscribe now.